Swimming like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hello and welcome to the video wrap-up show for the Shrimp Tank podcast in Seattle. I'm Dan Whedon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Michelle Baumberger. Michelle and I had a fascinating and fun conversation today with our guest, Erica Barnhart. You're going to want to listen to the entire episode, I promise you. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find all of our episodes on our website at shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle.
Well, Erica, it was a great conversation. Thanks so much for sharing some of your background and your passions with us. Something that jumped out to me was your desire to use communication for good. Mm-hmm. Can you share with our audience a little bit more about what that means?
Yeah, so I think about communicate for good. If you truly are, you're communicating for the good of yourself, for your team, your organization, and then by definition, if all of that is happening in the world, right? So self, team, organization, in the world. And the work is figuring out where you're not communicating for good, and good is sort of a judgy term. So we're going to use that loosely, but good meaning in a way that is positive, in a way that advances you towards your goals, in a way that, generates profits and positivity, increases impact, whatever is important to the organization. And so that's communicating for good. And we kind of internally and externally, and we do this thing where we're like, those are so different. They're really different. They're not as different as we think. And treating them differently no longer, it generally speaking, acting as if they are completely different no longer serves us. It's a lost opportunity.
You know, when you talk about opportunities, Erica, one of the things that really resonated with me was $12,506 a year per employee. And you answered that brilliantly in our podcast. So everybody has to go listen to it. But right now, maybe just a shorter version of that number is the cost of mishandled communication, maybe is a nice way to say it, per employee. That there's a lot of hidden cost in simply not communicating well. Can you expand on that here?
Yeah. So before I answer, I just want to say it's not like many people are like, well, let me communicate ineffectively. So to start by acknowledging, like, most of us are trying and we're doing our best, but we kind of miss, there's a lot of missed, and I like kind of mishandled, Dan, but like missed communication, right? And that's because we project, we're busy, okay? And so, and then we think, well, it's going to take so much time to make this more effective, blah, blah, blah. It actually doesn't take more time over time. Right. So if you upfront invest in, the higher stakes, the more important the communication, the more you want to work what I call the Claxon method, which is you're always going to start with, what does success look like? What results am I hoping to achieve, or do I need to achieve? Right. So what does success look like? Who am I talking to? Who's my target audience? Right. Based on that, and not before, decide what medium, what channel is going to, like Dan may want me to communicate, via phone. I'm making this up, a phone call. Dan may love a phone call. Michelle is like, please email me. Okay. Or maybe it's a Slack or whatever, but really think about, how are you going to receive the message? What's the most effective way? Like how I may want to be communicated with isn't actually relevant. But we default to what our most natural communication channel is and communication style. So there's a lot more to say about that, but I would say work the method. What, who, how, grounded in the why.
Well, Erica, thanks again so much for being a guest here on the Shrimp Tank. For our listeners that want to get in touch with you or learn more about Claxon, how can they get more information?
Yeah, I actually think LinkedIn is the best place because you get the full wide world of Erica, both my Claxon adventures and also my work with the University of Washington's Evans School of Public Policy and Governance. So I would go there. Yeah.
Great. For our listeners, check out Erica on LinkedIn and check out the replays of our podcast at shrimptankpodcast.com/Seattle and wherever you get your podcasts, SoundCloud, iHeart, Google, and follow us on our show's social media pages on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Well, Erica, thank you very much for being a guest on the show. Michelle, as always, thank you. Everyone, please do what Michelle said. Please join us every week at 12 p.m. Pacific on our live stream broadcast on our Facebook page. Our next live stream show will be on June 7th. Please join us. Until we see you again, be healthy, be prosperous, and have fun. Because for right now, the shrimp is back in the tank. So long.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp